Hey everybody, I'm APH and welcome back to Kingdoms Reborn. Now with the teaser, Rise of Valhalla, I figured it was high time to go ahead and revisit it and play the Duchy. So taking a quick look over the map, we are on Deity as normal and we are going to be playing with pretty much no rules other than we are playing on Deity. This area right here looks very good. We might revisit that in just a second. This area is very tasty with having dyes and cotton, something that we actually missed in the last playthrough. I am thinking that this area looks a little bit better with this having some tulips and the cotton right next door. Let's go ahead and grab this. What we're gonna do is let's go ahead and skip out on the stone. Let's bring down the medicine down to about 100, and then for wood, let's go ahead and get rid of that. And then for the oranges, I'm thinking we take 500. It doesn't give us a whole lot of money, and maybe we bring the tools down just a little bit further. 5k seems like it's a decent amount. Hopefully this will kind of make us through to the survival point. The first part of the game is a little bit touch and go. We do want to pick up this zone which has the tulips, so I'm going to go ahead and grab it right now. That unlocks our tulip seed. We'll go ahead and grab that. And for our town hall, I like to hide the trees in order to see the best spot, and I'm thinking right there looks pretty good. So the trading post is pretty much a must in this expansion, and then improved charcoal making seems pretty good. Let's grab all of the stone to kind of get started. So let's grab that bit of stone right there. And then for trees, we are in the forest, so we're gonna go ahead and grab non-fruit trees, and we'll grab those right there. That should be enough to get us started. I did pause the game because well, that's pretty much the best way to start Kingdoms Reborn is pause. Let's take a look at our first deck of cards. The pig ranch is a must. I'll grab the charcoal burner. I'm not a huge fan of it in the early game, but at least it's something. And then I'm gonna go ahead and spend the 10 gold to get another roll. Let's grab that forester and a fruit gather. That's probably pretty much everything that we need to get started here. The pig ranch, let's throw it up here. And for the charcoal burner, I'm gonna hold out on that for just a moment. For the forester, let's get a road kind of heading over this way as kind of a guidance, and then we'll throw the forester right here, and this will be to get us all of the fruit trees that we need. So let's just go ahead and set this to non-fruit trees only, just to make sure that we have tons of fruit trees. And then for fruit gather, we'll go right here for the fruit gather, and then behind it, I'm gonna go ahead and, well, maybe we'll put it over here. I'm gonna put a little yard right here and just set this just to food so that they can pick things and immediately drop it in the yard. I think this should get us a decent start. Let's go ahead and kick up to the hidden speed of 4. And if you guys do not know how to access that, just hit 4 on the keyboard. And I do want them to grab this stone after that. So let's go ahead and highlight it. And the nice thing about this is as it finishes the forester here, these guys will start to thin out the trees, and they'll get the wood in a little bit better capability than our harvesters. So that's always a good. Tavern is a must. Another fruit gatherer would be good. We could grab the mushroom farmer. I think that's going to be not necessarily early game, but relatively quick. So we're sitting at 118 fruit trees right now. Our goal is to get that somewhere in the neighborhood of 200, and that's what hopefully this forester is going to do. The pig ranch is something else that we're going to want to look for. So let's hope we get another one. And there we go. With that, let's get it started. We'll go on this side. This should get us enough food to maintain 16 of our 20 people. And we are early summer, so we're going to have to start getting houses pretty quick here. We're just going to get a little block right here. We'll add some more later, and let's make sure that I did that on a good row there. Yeah, I have a tendency of building things kind of off center, but at least that will get us a start for houses, get us a little bit of technology so we can start working towards medicine. For builders, as soon as we start getting things up and going, I want only 2 builders. For tech, basic medicine, and then we'll loop back for foreign trade. And now that we've got some production up and going, let's go ahead and limit this just to 2, and then laborers, let's limit that to 2 minimum. Now we could upgrade the town hall, and we do have enough gold, so let's do it. and it gets us better brewing and the stone production. I think we go for the better brewing. Since we're going to have oranges, we might as well start working towards our first luxury, and it unlocks military cards. Now, we're not going to do all the military exploity things, and I turned off the AI because of that, since in the last playthrough, it got pretty outrageous. We will go for that productivity book. It's going to go right in that pig ranch. I think that we have enough houses built that we could get the charcoal up and going. I'm not positive I want it on this side, but I'm going to throw it there for now. Another forester could be huge. Another fruit gatherer definitely will be healed. So we'll grab that. We'll hold out on the forester. No, let's grab it. We can always sell it if we don't use it. Another tavern, which we don't need, and another fruit gatherer. We could use that. Buy wood could be relatively good early game. Really, I guess what we should do is let's go ahead and pause these because we don't have any food going into the autumn. I only want enough people to kind of jumpstart the next year, but thankfully we do have, let's go ahead and refuse that trade. We do have both of our pig ranches up and going. They'll maintain 8 people by themselves on Deity, and we are about to get our charcoal up and going, so that's pretty much a good, and we have people leaving because they're hungry. So that's what I was a little bit worried about. This might be a rough first year. Let's get the improved production and the charcoal conversion. We will start working on the charcoal guild just to make sure as we add more that it's pretty much what we're looking for. And then for the tavern, let's get this boy added right there to get us a little bit of happiness, because right now our housing and our food just sucks. So we're gonna have to make pretty much a V line to get that going. I'm pretty much looking forward to the Rise of Valhalla patch. Leave a note down below if you guys are as well. Viking themes this year has been like the big theme, and I'm kind of excited about that. Let's grab another fruit gather. No, let's pass on the fruit gather. The charcoal should be okay. What we'll do, so we'll just pass on it. Another pig ranch would be huge, and then I was hoping we would get 100, and I probably skipped by it. Let's go ahead and prioritize the fruit and the charcoal just to make sure that they don't stop, and then we'll prioritize the 2 pig ranches. That's going to be our bread and butter for the first few years here, and then we've got a speed boost. I'm going to go ahead and throw it on the charcoal kiln since we are a little bit low on fuel. And what we could do temporarily is, no, we've got charcoal, so we should be good. We just got to make the 8 people in these 2 houses last until spring. Let's go ahead and re-enable this house because I think we have enough stuff going that once the pig ranches are up and going, we'll be set for food. That will give us probably enough with this charcoal burner for these 4. So yeah, it's just making it past this first year, and unfortunately this is probably the way a lot of civilizations went in the early game. Yeah, a lot of people leaving for being unhappy, and we're entering into the spring. Let's go ahead and shut off the charcoal kiln for the moment. Drop a labor to get somebody over in this pig ranch, and then we're going to shut off the forester. Once we get immigrants, then we'll start reenacting some things again. We are in the spring and we're going to start getting oranges again. So let's go ahead and just wait for the immigrants. We'll take passion. I absolutely love passion. I think it's an underrated card. We'll throw that in one of our fruit gatherers. With that, we do have an extra person, so we should be okay. And I mean, we should be. This house is getting built, and now we're ready to get that trading post. So we'll do a road over to right here, and this will be the edge of our town. We'll go a little bit further, and let's go ahead and correct that little spot right there, and then we'll put the trading post right here. This is going to be early game how we get our tools. We're probably not going to hit the Iron Age for quite some time in this playthrough, which means we're going to be relying on trade at least for a good chunk of the playthrough. And it looks like food is stabilizing, and if that is the case, then we are pretty well set. We've got 11 pigs and 8 pigs, so they're almost there. This province is 1300. Let's go ahead and grab it and get that next pig ranch going. So I think it will go right there. That will get us enough for 12, and then the addition of the fruit should get us the rest of the way there. So I'm looking forward to this. I think this is a pretty good start for Deity. Wild cards are on the table this playthrough. Before, what I did is went ahead and took them off the table and said no use of them, but in this playthrough it has been decided that no rules, no regulations, so everything pretty much goes, with the exception of I won't abuse any broken mechanics. So let's go ahead and accept the fact that we have a wild card. Now we can get whatever we want. Another fruit gatherer is something I do want. And it looks like we are going to enter the autumn with not a whole lot of food, which is a bummer. I was hoping we'd have a little bit more. It looks like the 2 ranches are just about done, so that's exciting. Let's move 1 less butcher, and that should keep some people in fruit gatherers, as well as it should keep people into the coal burner there. For the next tack, I really want mushroom sterilization and sheep ranching, but I think foreign trade so we can get into beer brewing is going to be a must. And then I want this first garden pretty much up and going for the next year. So let's get a farm. We'll go 6 by 10, and we're going to go ahead and go with 2 of them. And then what we'll do is place a yard directly behind it that is going to be specialized in medicine. So go ahead and disallow all. This would be a nice feature if I could select a couple of different farms at a time and configure them all at once. So let's go ahead and disallow and allow medical on that one. That should be good. This house right here should be ready to get started building. I think we're okay on food, I think, and we'll go give this charcoal burner a little bit of a speed boost. This will probably be the home of my next card, and it looks like people are leaving because of starvation and the cold. The first pig ranch is up and going, and this one looks like it will be up and going as soon as the next harvest comes. So we're spring, and we've made it at least through 2 years. This is promising. I'm happy with kind of where we're going here. I do need to get this forester up and going this year. Otherwise, we won't get a progression on this over here. With our new immigrants, let's grab that passion book. Let's get somebody into this pig ranch over here. That should be food, because that's going to be enough for 12, and this should carry the rest of the way. We're at 11 people, so we're okay. And we've got 1 in the charcoal kiln that's pretty much going to go year round. I'm going to go ahead and shut off these couple buildings, and we're only going to build in the winter. Let's go ahead and hide the trees and bring up the province overlay, because this province is tulips. We should look at doing a farm back here for tulips probably in the next year. So we'll go ahead and hide the province overlay again. We'll go ahead and bring the trees back. Now with that, I guess we should place a road back this way, and then we can get some flowers so that we can well, lay to peace everybody who sacrificed on the voyage here. Just completed our next thing with port and trade. I don't think we need a trading post or a port, but for now, let's go ahead and get our beer brewing. So we're gonna no thanks and no thanks on those. Now that winter's hitting, thankfully we have some food in stock. We don't have a whole lot of coal, so I'm gonna speed boost the coal production. And if we can find another charcoal burner, I'm gonna say we throw another one over here. That way in the winter, we can just double down on producing our coal to make sure our houses are fed. I do want to set pretty steep limits in the early game. So let's set a production target of, I'm going to say 500, so that when that finishes, we do get our people back so that we can use them somewhere else. We have cold people. I'm a little bit worried here. This farm is ready for the spring. We just hit early spring, which means we're going to hopefully get a couple of extra people with immigration. And we just lost somebody to the cold. Man, I'm not batting 100% here. This build of the game really adds a little bit of difficulty, and I gotta say I'm liking what they did here, that Deity doesn't feel like easy mode anymore. Let's grab these immigrants. Let's grab the passion. We'll throw this passion in this ranch right here. I don't think it does a whole lot for a non-grassland herder pig ranch, but I do want to boost these up. They're still gonna be pretty much the bulk of our food for at least a few years here. Now we do have somebody in one of our coal yards, which is tasty, seeing as how we had pretty much a rough season last year with coal. So hopefully they'll get that up and going. And then with that one complete, this one is fully up and going. So we do want to immediately get the guild, since that gives us an efficiency bonus on both of them. And then what we'll do is, since we've got the gold, let's go ahead and get the conversion and the production. It's pretty much a must. And then when we get to the upgrade tree, the production bonus is going to be the first thing that we go after. But let's go ahead ahead and expand down this way one more. This one right here, it's going to be 1,600. Wow. Let's go ahead and grab cotton. And I was hoping we would be able to get houses down here, but I don't think we're going to until next year since we are one over our cap right now. So I do want to place a house somewhere, and just one in order to get a little bit of an expansion. We are starting to get all of our herbs gathered, which will at least get our people healthy again. And then we're probably going to have to sell something to get some tools. Let's get this yard up and going so that we have a little bit of room for our herbs in the next year. And thankfully, wood right now, without having the forester up and going, has been maintaining. So at least that's working. I think we have enough oranges to make it through the winter. So I'm going to go ahead and sell a load of oranges. And then what we're going to do is the increased load so that the next one can be a little bit quicker. And then we'll do the fast delivery. And then just to make it a little bit quicker, let's go ahead and speed boost it. Back here, we'll get that farm going. So we'll get a road this way. And this farm will pretty much be the same as what we did with the other. Wow, that's a huge fertile area where we do a 6x10. And we're only going through 13 tools a year. So I'm not terribly worried. Let's grab 20. And then for food, let's go ahead and sell some more oranges. Yeah, look at that. We're only down 29 on that trade. So that will work. They'll get this up and going, and this will be tulips. This should be our first tier 1 luxury in order to get our houses upgraded, get us a little bit more research. We have cold people because we don't have any coal. So let's speed boost both of these to get us a little bit more coal to get us through the winter. This house is done, and we do have some stone. So I guess we'll do the insulation, and maybe we'll just insulate all of them, and then we can always trade for stone, at least in the early game. We did lose a couple of people, which is a bummer, but we are now in spring and everything is getting back up and going. So the question now is, where did we lose people from? And it looks like we lost somebody from coal. This is good. This means when we get our immigrants, we'll be able to get the forester up and going pretty much non-stop. Unfortunately, we're out of medicine, but that's probably going to be a typical thing for a while. Let's grab that passion book and we'll immediately throw that. Well, let's do it in this one over here. They've got smiles on their face, but they don't know what they're walking into, man. This place is yet a hot mess trying to get up and going. We're early spring. We have lots of oranges, so we're going to go ahead and sell a bunch in order to get some more tools. And we'll go with 20 tools. And our next load is probably going to have to be getting some stone, or maybe we can purchase this tile down here. That is an expensive tile. Maybe not. Let's do charcoal burner improvements for 30% increase. What is this one down here? Beer brewery. Yes, please. We will pass on the card because I've got wild cards. And this province right here, we have the influence. Let's do it. So we'll grab that one, and then we're going to have to start working on getting the 2,000 gold for over here. Midsummer, we do have some oranges. I want to make sure that we have enough to make it through winter, and we've got some pork. And look at that. The pork is almost, well, it's about a time and a half with the production of fruit. So at least for the early game, the pigs are going to be the way to go. We'll grab another pig ranch, absolutely, and we'll pass on the rest to get a couple more wild cards in order to keep moving forward. This territory could be nice to get a pig ranch kind of in a row there, but I'm going to hold out for the moment, and our houses are upgrading. So I don't know if there's any like massive benefit to the houses upgrading other than increased income and science. Getting them the increased science alone is probably a huge thing. Medicine consumption and production is about level. So let's do another farm for more medicine down here. And we're just going to do the same thing as what we did, 6x10, and then we'll get a yard over here again just for medicine. Later on we can switch these over to something else, so just disallow and medical herbs. That should be good. This one, I forgot to get this one building, and since we're in the middle of winter now, well, early winter, we can get those building. And since we have extra labors right now, let's go ahead and bump up the builders just to get this farm and this yard built before we hit spring. There we go. Now our charcoal burner should be a little bit better. I'm thinking furniture is next, and then getting the 10 houses in order to kind of move forward. And I gotta say, like, for the first 5 years, I think that we hit a point where we might be stable. I mean, we're for midwinter. We've got a decent amount of food, enough food that we can sell off some food in order to pick up this territory right here. Gets us another passion book. We have to get rid of something in order to use it. So I wish I could get rid of the Employment Bureau and the Statistics Bureau. I guess for now, we'll get rid of the Forester in order to pick up that passion. We're just going to throw that guy right in the pig ranch. Coal mine is not important. Don't think they're very efficient until kind of the late game. And now with this, I think that we're ready for probably another house. So let's get another house with this one right here. And then we'll grab the immigrants, another passion book. Absolutely. Absolutely loving what we've got going on there. Right into the pig ranch it goes. And I think this is a good spot to call episode number 1. If you like what you saw, consider leaving a comment down below. Consider subscribing to the channel if you're not. And well, we'll see you in the next episode where we get into furniture as well as we maybe move into the Middle Age. Thank you guys. We'll see you in the next one.